Welcome to another episode of Shrink Wrap Hawaii. My name is Stephen Katz. I'm a marriage and family therapist, and I have an incredibly special guest today. Her name is Dr. Rita Shuford, a psychologist. Thank you very, very much, Rita, for coming.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Okay. So
Yes.
did I describe you right as a psychologist?
Yes. I'm a psychologist, a life coach, a counselor, a trainer, you name it.
So one of the first things that I found out about you is you have a special, what you call, new paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
Okay. My favorite thing to talk about. And really, thank you for having me. About 38 years ago, for me actually, I was looking for the missing link in psychology.
Uh-huh.
And what that meant to me was, what is it that we're not seeing right now that would help us go directly to a place in ourselves or wherever, that we had a sense of well-being and we had the wisdom and common sense that we needed. What I could always see, like a potential in people,
Right.
Their soul, their spirit, and fortunately I came across 3 principles that a welder discovered, okay? Someone who wasn't in the field of psychology. His name is Sydney Banks.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't really looking for a great epiphany of any kind. He was just living his life. But he did. He had a very deep insight into the inside-out nature of life and human experience. And maybe more importantly, since I was interested in, how can people be happy?
Right.
How can people be happy? How can I be happy?
Yes.
Right? And basically what he realized was that we are innately healthy, innately wise, and that it's via mind, thought, and consciousness, 3 basic elements of life, that we see life moment to moment. It's always moment to moment, which for me was a relief, meaning I could have a second chance in any moment. And that moment to moment, we would, the gift or the power of thought was something that whatever we put into the power of thought, we would experience through consciousness. So we would become aware, like we feel our thinking moment to moment.
We feel our thinking?
We
Is that
feel
what
our
you're saying?
thinking moment to moment. And, but it looks like that the feelings we're having, because we've learned to believe this, not right or wrong, it's a very unintentional misunderstanding. But in our lives as human beings, me too, we learn to believe that there's something outside of our own mind and thought, whether it's our past, whether it's our circumstance, whether it's our husband, our wife, our boss, our kids, our bank account, that there's something outside of our own mind and thought that has a power to determine how we feel in the moment. And what Sydney Banks realized was it doesn't work that way. It never works that way. Not that we don't have a past, not that we don't have, bills and kids and everything that goes on in life, some very tragic things, right? But he realized that innately we have a wisdom that is our true nature, that is always there, and it always comes with a better feeling, whether it's just a sense of security, presence. We're like in the moment. Our mind is more open, clear, calm, and that every moment what's coming to mind is our own personal thinking. What we're thinking about, stuff is happening. But what we're looking at here with this paradigm is that there are not causes outside of our mind and thought in the moment that determine how we feel. Not that those things aren't happening or haven't happened, So what this understanding, for me, it meant that mind, which is this formless intelligence, in Hawaii we would call it mana. It's like a formless energy, a formless energy we call it spiritual because it's formless. And that is the essence of all life and human experience. And that every moment, thought and consciousness, which is the kind of the workhorses of mind or mana, is what we use to determine how we see things, okay, how we feel about them, what we're going to do about them, all right? And our feeling lets us know when the thinking that's on our mind is helpful and when it's not, okay?
Our feeling helps us know that.
Yeah, so if I'm, like for me, right now I'm heading up a fundraiser, okay?
Okay.
Real life stuff, right? And there's a lot of things that haven't fallen into place,
Right.
okay? So this morning I get up, I get an email, and it's like, oh, now for a little bit I started to stress, get a little worried, like,
Yeah.
you know, we're already pushing the envelope in terms of getting this done.
Right, right.
Yeah, right. And then, because, see, within our soul, we know this truth. This is something very true about all of us. We're all in the same boat, okay?
Right.
That every moment, how we feel is coming from within. Every moment. No judgment on it, okay? And when we more insightfully realize that, it helps us let go, you might say, or lets us, you know, our thinking falls away just naturally, naturally when we realize, like when I kind of realized I was just getting myself a little stressed out here because I'm in the unknown, which is a lot of times when people start getting stressed. They don't know how to handle something or what's going to happen or, you know, or how they're going to do. And I was caught in that. How, you know, this is kind of on my shoulders, and then I kind of realized, well, things do have a way of working out. And that just, then that thinking, which is my personal stressful worry thought, okay, which I'm feeling as stress, a little anxiety, isn't coming from what's not fallen in place yet. It's coming from the way I'm thinking about it.
So the question is, how do you change the way you're thinking about it?
It naturally changes when you realize that.
Just the realization itself.
In the moment, yeah. So for
That-
me, I'm like this, and then I realize, wait a minute, where's this feeling coming from? Well, it's coming from me in the moment. And there's something about realizing that. Now, we can believe that intellectually, and it doesn't have a whole lot of help. But if we really realize it in the moment, our mind releases that thinking.
It seems that it takes, I don't know what to call it other than faith, maybe, that things are going to be all right. This irrational belief,
Well,
maybe.
here's the thing. Be all right. That's a good thing you're pointing out, because I don't know how it's going to work out. But I do know it's up to me what I make of it. And I do very deeply, from my own experience, from many, many moments and times throughout my life, where I didn't know something and I just relaxed about that. And because our mind naturally will calm down then, see, underneath all this little personal stressful thinking is this infinite amount of well-being, okay, unconditionally, that comes with the wisdom, the clarity, the new thinking, the common sense we need for whatever it might be. Now, for me, this morning, what came to me was, oh, we just don't know yet.
and
Pretty simple.
And just saying that to yourself relieved the stress that brought with it?
Well, here's the thing. It wasn't like I was saying it to myself. And as my mind kind of let go of the way I was thinking about it, being worrisome, stressful, what's underneath there, within us, we have an infinite capacity for wisdom and new thought and common sense. Okay, infinite. That's the spiritual nature of these three principles. Okay, so
Okay.
to finish the statement
Yes,
here.
I'm sorry.
So, no. So when my mind, naturally, when our mind, you might call the habits of thought or the old thinking or the unhelpful thinking that I'm having right now about something that's real, right? But the way I'm thinking about it is getting in the way. Okay, so I realize that because the feeling is tapping me on the shoulder. Okay.
The feeling is what?
Stress,
Okay.
worry, anxiety. What if?
Right, okay.
You know,
Yeah,
what if we don't
yeah,
make this?
yeah. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Right? So you can feel, you know, and then it's like see, wisdom is like an insight in the moment that I realize, okay, wait a minute. Okay. That's not, this way I'm thinking about it isn't helping. Okay, and it's just, it's like a dance because it's not like I'm trying to think that, it's just occurring to me. Like I've just been out of step with the music. Okay, let's get back in the flow. Okay, which means to me that my mind now is quieting down because I'm letting go and surrendering to the fact, you might say, that right now I don't know. And yet, and this is my experience, okay, in a deep sense of belief or faith, if you want to call that, that the thinking I need will come to me in a quieter, calmer mind. And I tell you, all of us have that experience. You know, we're kind of worked up about something and we don't know what to do, and then maybe it occurs to us to calm down, or someone near us says, you know, let's just calm down and see what happens or see what we see. And sure enough, we get the thinking that we need, or to me it's common sense. I get that was common sense to me then. Like, oh, I just don't know yet. Oh, okay. Well, I will. Something will happen. It's like the infinite capacity for new thought is the source. Mind is the source of creativity. Mind is the source of wisdom. Or we could say mana is the source of seeing what we need to see. And it always is going to come with a better feeling, whether it's just kind of more grounded, secure. Sometimes it's like, wow, that's it. You get the answer you needed, you know. And so this paradigm is looking at what's already inside of us. Already, and that is our true nature, and that we are meant to wake up to that, so to speak, because we all pick up thinking that says there's something making us feel the way we're either. It's going to take the right person to be happy. If I find the right mate or the right job or the right bank number. I mean, we've got, and I don't, you know, I'm not putting that down because we're all in that boat, because the gift of power, the power and the gift of thought is a spiritual power to create whatever we think.
I'm going to hold you with
Yeah.
that thought because we need to go to
Okay.
break. We'll be right back with Shrink Wrap Hawaii and my guest, Dr. Rita Shuford. Don't touch that mouse.
Aloha, my name is Matt, and this is my co-host Justine, and we are from Hawaii Food and Farmers Series, coming to you every Thursday afternoon at 4 p.m.
The purpose of the show is to bring on Hawaii's farmers, as well as all the other folks, organizations, and individuals that are part of our local food system. We like to get their backstory and history and find out why they're motivated to do the work that they do. And we also like to pick their brain about what they see for the future of local food in Hawaii.
So see us every Thursday at 4 o'clock at Think Tech Hawaii.
Thank you. See you then.
Aloha! How you doing? It's me, Angus McTech, wishing you to welcome and join us to see us on Hibachi Talk on Think Tech Hawaii. Join my co-hosts, Gordo the Tech Czar and Andrew the Security Guy every Friday from 1300 to 1345. We look forward to see you. We'll talk tech and we'll have some wee bit of fun. And remember, let your wing gang free wherever you be. Aloha!
Welcome back. I'm Steve Katz. This is Shrink Wrap Hawaii, and we're talking about mind, thought, and consciousness.
Yes.
Right? The
Yeah.
3 principles with Dr. Rita Shuford. So while you were speaking, I was mesmerized, but I was also having all of these thoughts of, well, I got this client, right? Or I have this problem that needs fixing now.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's like this morning I was worrying about something, and I was worrying about what am I going to say to this person
Yeah.
that's going to fix everything. And I thought of Yogi Berra that said, one of his famous yogi-isms was, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Right? And I
Yeah.
thought, so let's pretend I have a client named Sam, and he comes in and he's in love with 2 women. And it's very important what he decides to do. They both want to be with him, lucky Sam.
Yeah.
But he's got a child with one, and he's not sure if he wants to go back with her or go with the new one. And it's making him crazy, and he's thinking, I've had 3 wives and girlfriends, and am I a sex addict? And he's like totally stressed out. And he, of course, so what should I do, doctor? Right?
Yeah.
So, of course, I smile and say, well, that's not my job.
Yeah, that's right.
So what do you do, doctor? Faced with Sam, all stressed out, ready to like check into something, like some institute. I mean, he's really making him crazy.
Yeah, yeah. But what's making him crazy is the way he's thinking about it all, isn't
Right.
it? So he's trying to analyze, which we've been taught to do, analyze his problem, try to do pros and cons. He's trying to do, think his way to an answer, right? Which again, understandable, but in some ways that seems,
Logical.
Logical, right? But the problem, you might say, what he has is a thought problem.
Yeah.
Not all those details that you talked about, not that they don't exist, okay? But it's that it looks to him, I'd be curious where he thinks his feelings come from.
He would say that, the women.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And we'd explore that. I really don't know what I would say, because when I meet with people, we're just 2 human beings, because really we are all in this together.
All of us are in the moment.
We're always living from the inside out. We're at whatever level of consciousness or state of mind, knowing that or not, okay? And so I don't know what I would say to him, but I know that I would help point him toward the source of his experience and the source of answers for him.
So let's be in the moment, because this is my first career, as I told you
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
Right? I'll be Sam.
Okay.
And I've just presented you with these
Yeah.
facts of my life. And I say to you, so I don't know what to do, doctor. It's making me crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so when do you not feel crazy? When do you feel more at ease?
Sometimes when I'm making love, but then right afterwards I feel guilty. Whoever I made love with, I feel guilty about the other one.
Yeah, okay. So when you are free of this, worry and stress and trying to figure out something that you can't seem to get clarity about?
When am I not having that?
Yeah, yeah.
I guess when I'm sleeping.
Okay.
And maybe when I'm working, because, I have a job to do and I have to pay attention to my job. But
Okay.
still, even like if I get a break, I'm thinking about, what am I
Okay.
going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then I have this kid. I have to make the right choice for him. Should I?
So I'm going to come back. So when you're working, what's happening?
I'm doing my job, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're focused on your
I'm
work.
focused on
you're
my
just
work.
in the moment,
Right. I've
doing your
got
job.
all these other clients that I have to take care of.
Okay, so you're kind of in service to other people.
Right,
You're
right.
just seeing how to help people with whatever's going on.
Right.
And during those times, what would you describe your feeling to be?
Focused on the task, and it's not good and it's not bad. If I make a sale, I'm happy.
Yeah.
If I don't, I'm not happy, and I get over it and I move on to the
Okay.
next one. And I don't take it so personally. It's my job, and I do the
Okay.
best I can.
Okay, so it sounds like you have a certain understanding or perspective that, like you said, not taking it personally.
Right. I mean, I've been doing this for 20
Yeah.
something years.
So you're more relaxed, you're a little more at ease about it.
Yeah,
You
I'm
show up-
confident.
Yeah, you're confident, you're secure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what we're going to look is, where does that sense of security come from naturally within us, okay? And how does it help us find the answers that we need? Very, whatever it is. See, wisdom is an innate, unlearned intelligence, a spiritual intelligence that is always there, always trying to guide us as best it can. But all of us human beings, me too, we have picked up a misunderstanding, habits in our thinking that we think we have to think our way to the answer of a problem, okay? Which, okay, we need an answer. But what we haven't understood is that it makes a big difference depending on the feeling we're in while we're thinking, okay? So if I'm stressful and worried and anxious and guilty and pressured, and if and the thing is, we're creating that in ourselves. In the moment, it doesn't look like we are. It looks like it's those people and
Right.
the decisions I need to make,
Right.
okay? But what I'm trying to help you see is that beyond that, deeper within all of us, okay, there's a space, you call it a space within, where our mind is more quiet, clear, and it's like a perfect channel for the wisdom we need, the answers we need. Because right now,
How do I get there?
well, we're going to keep talking, okay? Now, as we're talking, do you feel yourself calming down a little bit?
Maybe a little, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the direction we're going, because I have no doubt, okay, because you and I are the same. Universally, we're the same at the core, okay? That you have the answers in you. You have the clarity in you, okay?
But I have this sense that there's a right answer.
Yeah, I know, and we've learned to think that, okay? What I'm saying to you is, this is not about a right or wrong, okay?
That's a hard one for me to get past.
Yeah, that's right, that's
Yeah.
right. All of us
I mean,
have...
I was taught, things by my parents. They were religious and
I know.
sinning and
Yeah, I know. I grew up in that culture too, yes. So, but it's, again, it's an innocent or unintentional, as human beings through history, we've been trying to figure out how to handle life, how to be happy in life, how to make the best of life, how to get over difficulties and traumas and whatever, somehow being able to keep our well-being, okay? Or get back to it somehow, all right? And this paradigm, this understanding, this what I'd call truth about life and who we really are, that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, okay?
that's getting a little woo-woo.
Yeah,
for me.
we don't have to go there today, but...
No, I like going there.
Yeah,
but,
okay, but
Yeah.
it's, that we're so much more. We are what we seek.
Wow. We are what we seek.
That's an old scripture, and it goes on to say, look within. Look within. It's like here in Hawaii, mana, look within.
But isn't there a certain thinking in Buddhism that says part of the problem is desire?
And what is
seeking
desire?
things?
Yeah, what is desire and what is seeking? It's how
thinking
we're
that it's outside. of
That's
you.
right. That's exactly.
You
It keeps
got
coming
me,
back.
You got
I know.
me. You see, now that's great, because
Yeah.
that was an example of what you're saying is, like in asking you that
Mm-hmm.
question, it felt like I was taking a bit of a risk,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Because, I want to be friendly and liked and all those other things, and I don't want to trip
Yeah.
you up or anything like
Yeah,
that, but
yeah.
it was the perfect question.
Yeah. And I guess it's, as we look in the direction of what is thought, this spiritual power or gift and consciousness, this ability to be aware and know where that's coming from within us, and and mind, which is making it all happen, so to speak, mana.
So wait, as Sam, all
Yep.
right, I just had this insight.
Great.
So if you're saying that I am what I seek,
Mm-hmm.
that the thing that I want
Mm-hmm.
from Mary or Sue
Mm-hmm.
is not within Mary or Sue. That feeling of wholeness, of being okay,
Yeah.
that everything, like I'm complete,
Okay, now I'm getting chicken skin. See? Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But that's really hard.
Well,
Because I've never had that,
uh-huh.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Maybe when I was
Forgotten
an
it.
actor.
Yeah.
When I was an actor,
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes when I'm, because when you're on stage without a script,
Yeah.
naked and,
Yeah.
metaphorically,
Whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're in the moment,
Yeah.
right? You're just really vulnerable. You're
Yeah.
in the, you're praying somewhere that the lines are going to come into your head.
That's right.
And when that goes well,
Mm-hmm.
that's the feeling.
Yeah. So it's like there's a fullness in that, isn't it? You feel like something bigger than you, and yet you just happened.
Right. Like, it's a miracle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we could call it miracle, or you could call it that's the way life is. Okay?
Oh, all the time.
Can be. Underneath it all, it is.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what Sid was. Because he was a very ordinary guy,
The welder guy.
the welder guy,
Yeah.
who realized these principles or this truth. Okay, he said, just be ordinary, but don't think so much. I mean, this is my words. He said,
Just be ordinary.
be ordinary. You're already naturally, who you really are is this innate, it's like this is me, that we're a soul with the ability to think and to create our life experience moment to moment to moment, from the inside out.
Right.
Okay? And we do that through mind, thought, and consciousness, moment to moment. Okay? And to realize that my feelings are a guide. They tell me where I'm coming from.
Mhm.
They also help me understand where other people are coming
Right,
from.
as a therapist.
Well, just as ordinary life, my
Just
husband.
talking. Those
if
are always
if
great
he's
examples.
grouchy,
Right.
if he comes home grouchy or
Yeah.
he gets grouchy,
Yeah.
which we all have those moments or those times, just being able to see that he's creating that feeling in himself.
It's creating a feeling in you, too.
Well, or he isn't. He can't.
You
He
could
can't.
choose.
Yeah, he can't decide how I feel. Now, I might take it personally, and I certainly have, and I probably will, but at this point, I don't want to live with that kind of being upset or frustrated or hurt or whatever, angry. Nothing right or wrong. We're all going to have all of these emotions, okay? But having some insight that, it's like, well, it looks like he's the one that's making me feel this way.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
then if he's the one, here's the problem we all fall into, then he has to change so I can feel better.
Well, that never works out, right?
It never works out. You can't control or change other people.
Right.
Okay, people can change. We are built for insight and change. We were
Mm-hmm.
born that way. So seeing that my feeling is coming from me in the moment, it's in the moment here, that helps me go, oh, okay, I can see, well, he's just, and we, in our marriage, we've, you just kind of see how to help each other. Once you understand that people's moods or states of mind fluctuate with their thinking, okay, and that when someone's not in a good mood or a good feeling, it's going to pass, okay?
Right.
And if we try to, this is where arguments come in, you know, because people have misunderstandings because we live in separate realities of our own thought, okay? Not right or wrong, it's just how it is. And we get surprised by it. We think I remember when my husband and I were first married and we had our first Christmas together, you know, we didn't know that we had very different ideas about presents.
Right.
You know, I came from a large family. Everything we needed for the whole year was under the tree at Christmas. Our panties, our socks, you know, and then one or two. So you'd have 10 or 12 gifts. A lot of it just, you know, basic stuff.
Right.
And my husband came from a family that was a little more well-to-do, and maybe they got a couple of nice gifts. That was it. So it comes to that first under the tree, and you know, I've gotten him all these little things, right? And he's gotten me a couple of gifts, and it's like, oh. So he's embarrassed.
Wow. And so
I
then what do you
like,
do with that, right?
Okay.
We're going to come right back because they told me we need another break. Don't touch
Okay.
the mouse. We'll be right back with shrimp wrap. No, shrink wrap Hawaii with Dr. Rita Shuford. Stay right here.
Aloha, I'm Kaui Lucas, host of Hawaii is My Mainland, here on Think Tech Hawaii every Friday at 3 p.m. We address issues of importance for those of us who live here on the most isolated landmass on the planet. Please come join me Fridays at 3 p.m. Mahalo.
Hi, Dale, that's Ray Starling. We co-host a show called Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy, every Wednesday, 4 to 5 p.m. It's really interesting. You know, Ray has a way of unzipping these guys. He asks them these questions, and all this stuff tumbles out, and we find out stuff we would never know about without Ray's questions. Thank you, Ray.
You're welcome, Jay. I'm very pleased to be your Ed McMahon every Wednesday at 4 o'clock here on the internet. So you can join us and see what's happening in the energy world, and there is a lot going on. So join us every Wednesday at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, come around, be energized, right here on Think Tech. Aloha.
Welcome back to Shrink Wrap with Dr. Rita Shuford. And we were just talking about the couple that yourself, actually, where you have different ideas of present giving for Christmas. So what did you do with that big difference in expectations?
well, fortunately, we were learning about this new paradigm at the time, okay? So that helped us get through it. Initially, yeah, you know, I was kind of had my feelings hurt. He was embarrassed, felt a little guilty, you know. But we came to something early on in our relationship, and the principles helped us both. I think we did it on our own. Every change is from within, and I think that's really important. Every change is from within, all our experience is from within, and the wisdom and common sense we need is within, okay? And so we each kind of came up without having talked about it at one point. We were both listening to what Sidney Banks was saying, right? Looking in the direction of the spiritual nature of our psychological, everyday experience of life, okay, moment to moment. And I know for me, I realized, well, then that means if my feelings come from me, it's up to me how I feel about anything that's going on. How the difference in realities, how we see something, anything.
So you could decide not to be disappointed?
Well, it didn't make sense then. Why would I do that to myself? It's like taking a stick and poking myself in the eye and then blaming somebody for, you know, blindness, right? You know, it starts to make common sense. And the insight I had was there's nothing worth giving up my well-being for. I do, but it's in moments of time that I do that within, by the way I'm thinking, okay? And for the relationship, what that meant for me was I just want to have a good feeling as much as possible. And that kind of opened my mind to, you might say, catch it a little faster before it is like misunderstanding didn't have to become argument. Difference of opinion didn't have to become argument. So it's like it helps us not take it personally or get over it faster, because we realize taking it personally is coming from us, not from the other person.
Right.
And if I've taken something personally, again, not right or wrong, it's just that feeling is telling me that there's something I'm not seeing in this moment. And if I did, I'd have a better feeling. I'd have the clarity I need.
And so just having that thought changes it?
Yeah, I tell you, this is a different paradigm.
Yeah.
Because it's really looking at our thinking has no power. There's no power in
So
thinking.
you stop going like that
Yeah.
to your husband's,
like that. I
your
stopped
fault.
dwelling. I stopped
Uh-huh.
dwelling. And because dwelling in a negative feeling or thinking or analysis or thought process has no answer. And the feeling is what's telling us that. It's telling us that there's something there's something unhealthy in the way we're thinking right now. Not, again, no judgment on it. We all have it, okay?
But even just saying it unhealthy, isn't that a judgment?
Well, whatever, you could call it a judgment, but for me, I don't
Or it's
use
not
that
making you
term.
happy anyway.
I'm aware that the feeling I'm having is not the feeling that I want to live in, and it's not the feeling that has the answers that I need. It's not the feeling that sees the wisdom I need in the moment. It's like the thinking that we need, that we are built for infinitely, okay, that natural intelligence that we're born into. You know, you look at it with little kids and you see it in them. You know, if you look in the eyes of an infant, you see an intelligence looking out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we're talking about. That's, you might call it soul intelligence, okay? That's an unlearned
mind.
thought process. That's mind. That's just this unlearned thought process that we all come into life, seeing life through, okay? So we see life, but we don't have any judgment about it. We don't have bias. We don't have insecurity. We just naturally see life, we just see it, right? And when we see things without judgment or fear or bias or insecurity, we naturally just have a better feeling, okay? And with that feeling, we see in simplicity, and yet we just see it, whatever it is, okay? Like kids will come out with the wisest things at times, you know? And little by little, because we have free will and the gift of the ability to think, we all learned and pick up beliefs in our personal thought system. We could call it ego, we could call it personal mind, different words to the same thing, okay? But we learn to believe, okay? It's like our intellect, in other words, same thing. It's thought carried through time, how we've learned to think about ourselves, about life, about relationships, about anything. We learn that in our development, from our families, from TV, from our friends, from whoever. We make it up ourselves. Okay, so our personal thought system is kind of like the good, bad, and the ugly, because there's wonderful knowledge that we've learned and carry in mind, in intellect, okay? There's wonderful skills that we've developed. So it's a resource, okay, of thought, memory, carried through time. And there's one basic misunderstanding that gets us all in trouble, and that's the belief in one degree or another, okay, that there's something outside of us that has the power to determine how we feel in the moment and how we react to life, okay? And what this paradigm is looking at is there is nothing outside of us, not that there aren't things happening, okay? So we're not.
That's the hard one.
That's
is
the hard one.
separating that
That's
out,
why
right?
it has
'Cause
to be your own experience.
Because to some people, it would sound like you're saying there is no objective reality.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I am saying there is an objective reality that
Right.
we see, and as we recognize that our feeling is coming from the way we think about that.
Right. It's not that this didn't happen or it's
Yeah.
not there.
No.
It's the way we think and
Yeah,
feel about
I do
it.
have these deadlines and things.
Yeah.
I did have to
if
get
you don't
here.
do this, you're not
Right.
going to get paid or you're going to get
Yeah.
a traffic ticket or whatever.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah, yeah. So all those things are real, but as we see that our feeling or our experience comes from the way we're spinning it in our mind, thinking about it in our mind, moment to moment, because come back to that, it's moment to moment from the inside out that we are creating through thought and consciousness how we see this moment and how we feel about it, okay? And when we more insightfully realize that, it's like our mind just starts releasing it faster, you know, when the feeling is, to me, you know, it's telling us, wait a minute, this is just making me feel bad. I'm not getting any answers here, okay? And when I see that, it's like there's, like I said, thinking doesn't have any power. It's the ability to have thought, the power of thought. And that's always going to be there. So when I more insightfully realize, oh, I'm just caught up in my thinking, it's like I'm caught up in the way I'm thinking here.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking about still needs an answer, okay? But the way I'm thinking about it is getting in the way of the answer, okay? And we've been taught otherwise, not purposely, okay? So seeing that is like seeing a mistake you've made when you're adding numbers and you go over it 10,000 times and then you walk away and then you come back and go, wow, I didn't know that was a 9 there.
Yeah, that happens to me
Yeah.
all the time. Like I play
Yeah.
Scrabble
You clear your mind.
with this guy
Boom.
online, and you know I get stuck, and then
Oh, I'm
I go
sorry.
to sleep, and all of a sudden I come back and I go, oh look at that, there's a bingo right in front
Yeah.
of my face.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Well, that's kind of what we're saying. It's like common sense that when our mind is free of the thinking that's unnecessary or unhelpful to us in the moment, it's like underneath that, so to speak, always is this wisdom and common sense that comes to us with the thinking that we need for now, the thinking that we need for whatever's going on in our life. Like I said, this morning for me it was the kind of, again, it seems so simple, but it is, you know, and helpful. Oh, I just don't know yet.
and being okay with that.
Yeah, and because I have learned to really respect not knowing. I used to think I had to know everything. My husband would say I acted like I knew everything. But, you know, obviously I don't. And I've learned more and more and more. I've become much more humble about it, and also grateful that out of the unknown comes the known. From within.
Yeah, and it's wonderful what you must do for your clients. They come in and you empower them by letting them know that they know.
Yeah.
And it takes away that helplessness.
Yeah.
That it's not up to me, it's up to something out there.
You're right.
It's like, wow, it is up to me. I can be happy. Nothing can change, and I can be happy.
That's right.
And that changes everything.
That's right. That's great. That's a good way to summarize it.
Okay, we've come to the end of another wonderful segment with a wonderful guest, Dr. Rita Shuford. Thank you for joining us at Shrink Wrap Hawaii. We'll be with you whenever you want to find us on the computer. Thanks again, and thank you, Dr. Rita Shuford.
It's been fun. Thank you. Pleasure.
A lot of fun.